Welcome to Library Creamy, and welcome to Library Cleaning. As of May 12, 2023, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom came out. And I had to remind myself that I'm not a big fan of this franchise to pry myself off of my Switch from playing this game. This game gave me little Ghibli animations like Mononoke Hime, Spirited Away, and Laputa, Castle in the Sky. I mean, I was speechless when I pulled out the Master Sword. The main storyline has some layers like onions, and it gave me a little bit of Planet Coaster as well. This game is simply great. I think this is what they wanted to do with Breath of the Wild, but didn't or couldn't because it was a game compatible for both Wii U and Nintendo Switch. And no, I'm not going to review Tears of the Kingdom because there are tons of videos out there doing just that and doing a great job at that. I mean, I could show you how I suck at playing this game for like 5 minutes straight because when I look at my play videos, you'd think I am playing Dark Souls for the first time, which I still haven't. Instead, I want to discuss what will be the next move for Nintendo, and would it be wise for you to buy Nintendo Switch in 2023 if you don't have one yet? When we take a look at the product cycle of Nintendo, usually Nintendo home consoles had a product cycle of 5 years before Nintendo transitioned into a new home console, and Nintendo Switch came out in 2017 and it peaked in 2019 when, you know what happened, and apparently still thriving. But here's the question, would it be wise to buy Nintendo Switch in the year 2023? It has been 7 years since Nintendo came up with Nintendo Switch, which means we are overdue for the new Nintendo console. I don't own 3DS or Wii U, so I could not really relate to people freaking out when Nintendo decided to close 3DS eShop. But now I see some rumors on next Nintendo console may not support backwards compatibility with Nintendo Switch, which means I will no longer be considering to play Nintendo Switch games I own if I get the new generation console. And if they close down Nintendo eShop for Switch, I could potentially lose my precious game that I bought because they were on sale and then never played. Nintendo did say they will not come up with a new generation console in the fiscal year of 2023, which means until March of 2024. But who knows? People suspecting Nintendo Switch console might come out with Nintendo Switch version of Hogwarts Legacy around November of 2023. And we should consider the fact Hogwarts Legacy is a very demanding software. My gaming laptop cannot run it, so I didn't get it yet. And even though some websites say Hogwarts Legacy will not be cloud version, it just has to be on a lightweight portable device, or it will be as janky as my videos. We already have somewhat high performance handheld devices in the market, and some of them do offer Windows operation system, which means you can run Hogwarts Legacy on those devices, and if you get those devices, you will usually run it via Steam, on which I suspect a lot of gamers already have vast range of games in their library already. So, if Nintendo came up with a new console just for the high-end games like Hogwarts Legacy, they cannot really compete with the existing handheld consoles, and they would have to consider the production cost. There still might be some level of demand on Nintendo Switch consoles and accessories like fitness ring, Joy-Cons, or physical game cards, which means they would have to increase their production facilities, and there will be cost of distribution and marketing. And if I think about what is great about Nintendo, it is simply the fact they have their console exclusive games. Nintendo's IP is simply profitable. It is very likable, and it touches on the nostalgia of many a person around the world who grew up playing Nintendo games or watching shows related to Nintendo games such as Pokemon or classic 90s movie, Super Mario movie.
See you later, alligator!
And even if Nintendo came up with a new console, do you think the Nintendo IP games could be that demanding? Do you want your Nintendo exclusive game characters like Inklings or Pikmins or any other Pokemon to look like a real life creature? Do you want your Mario to look like an owner of pizzeria? Or do you want your Link to look like that boy from another classic 90s movie, Neverending Story? Not me. Nintendo IP aesthetics will not really work well with too much details. And it could work with a lot of work, but will they do that? I don't think so. Therefore, the best strategy for Nintendo will be just make their original IP games work better. Of course, stunning graphics will be a great feature for any game, but there are other console producers doing just that, and some of console games are paving their ways to PC as well, so Nintendo probably will ward off from that area of game industry. They will simply touch on more cartoonish nostalgia inducing games because it worked and it still works. And what do you expect the next generation console to look like? I think the great thing about Nintendo Switch is that it is handheld, and then you can play it on your TV screen simply by putting it back into the dock. And the fact the whole process is quite streamlined. it is simple, anyone can do it. So the shape of the device, when we assume it is the same old handheld device that doubles as home console, will not really change that much. They have the patent for the detachable Joy-Con, so they will not just throw it away. So here's what I think Nintendo's next generation console might offer if it ever comes out, and if Nintendo is a bunch of sensible people. It will of course have bigger storage, better performance, and probably the same screen as OLED Switch. And it will still support Nintendo Switch game cards with better performance of course. Because closing down 3DS shop did bring a lot of backlash, and they will probably not try us for a while. For high performance games, I thought the most viable option for the next generation Switch will be a Thunderbolt device. A dock that enhances the performance of Nintendo handheld console when attached so that people won't have to buy the whole console again. But according to some people on the interweb, it is simply not possible with the current version of Switch, and Thunderbolt will simply restrict the most distinct feature of Nintendo Switch: portability. So if the new version of Switch doesn't come out with Thunderbolt compatibility, it might support SIM card usage or more stable internet connection for people who want to play their cloud version games on the go. Because if they made the device too high-techy, it will increase the weight or price of the device, which means it will not have its advantages against the existing handheld consoles on the market. So for high performance games, they will most likely adopt cloud-based gaming. They are already doing free service of cloud version of Assassin's Creed Odyssey only in Japan, which is not a game designed for a low performance console. And a lot of games do offer cloud version option on other consoles already. Xbox has Game Pass, Steam also has cloud play function, and as I'm doing this voiceover, Sony came up with their version of cloud gaming handheld device with screen on it. I mean, it looks ridiculous, but I get it. Enhancing cloud version play will also enable high-end games on other platforms pave their way into Nintendo Switch systems for broader audiences, and Nintendo can also make some money by simply allowing them to do so. And they better have better protection against hacked ROMs and such, because it is hurting their revenue greatly, and hacked files being played is making people who pay the full price for the console and games feel like they're idiots. But would they bring the dual screen back? I don't think so. The vast feature of Nintendo Switch portability will decrease greatly if they put the dual screen back. You might ask, that doesn't make any sense, it's just one foldable screen. But if you own a Nintendo Switch and have played it while traveling, it does take some time putting Nintendo Switch with just one screen back into your case, and then close the case and gather your other belongings with Nintendo Switch as well. If it has a dual screen in the same design, not like 3DS, chances are it could break very easily. And adding an additional screen will also increase the price of the console, which people already have problems with because it is indeed performance-wise not worth the price. So I don't really see why they would do that. So overall, I think Nintendo will have to stick with a similar design, support backwards compatibility even if they came up with a new generation console, and let's be honest, people will buy the device even when they don't really have issues with the current version of Switch, because better frame rate and less lagging will be intriguing. And also, the Switch hardwares people own are kind of getting old, so people might want to change it up. I mean, I got 2 Switches, so I don't need a new one, but I almost bought Tears of the Kingdom edition because my Switches are not OLEDs, and the color scheme was just something I really like. So Nintendo won't be trying something too innovative. I think Nintendo found their niche just right. So they won't be switching Switch up, get it? Unless they already made all their version exclusive games into full VR games and have affordable VR consoles to distribute, but I don't think they do. So if you don't have a Nintendo Switch and are holding off buying Nintendo Switch, just get it. Don't be playing it illegally on emulators. It is worth buying just because of Tears of the Kingdom, and honestly, now that Nintendo Switch is on a stable supply cycle, you won't be ripped off that much like a lot of people did in 2019 or 2020. And yes, I got ripped off, but it was worth it. But do remember before you buy it that Nintendo Switch is not a high performance device, and most likely your smartphone can run more demanding games. And the fact that you have to buy those Nintendo Switch exclusive games and sometimes accessories to go with the game as well, and the price point is not something very attractive compared to many a game on other platforms which go on sale a lot as well. And if you think Nintendo Switch 2 or Nintendo Switch Pro is definitely coming soon, just wait till they do come out with it. Don't be hating on me for saying there might not be innovative appeal in using next generation Nintendo console with state-of-the-art technology. I don't see future or talk to the dead people, and you don't see me going on the television and saying your late grandmother thinks your new man is a tall glass of water. I'm just alone in my room shouting into the shitty microphone. If you stuck around and watched the whole thing, thank you very much, and that was not sarcastic. And if you liked the video, please be a good lamb and subscribe. Bye!